Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. We are once again in Stormworks. We're working on our PvP arena in this one. I know the last episode was a little bit slow, but these are going to go a lot faster, so just kind of bear with me. Before we kind of get into the building, I want to just say if you like this series, you think it's cool, or something you want to keep seeing more of, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, don't forget to check out the link to our Discord down below if you haven't already. It's a pretty good place to kind of hang out, make some friends, talk a little bit, and a lot of really good Stormworks builders in there. So, if you kind of have some questions or need some help or anything like that, it's a really, really good place to kind of go. But enough of that. We are kind of working on the spawn area for our A team in this one. And, like I said, these buildings are going to go really, really fast. And I know that last episode was pretty slow, but we're going to get a lot done in these episodes. There's only going to be a few of them. I'm going to try to get this arena out pretty soon to you guys, probably before the videos are actually done. So kind of bear in mind with that. But yeah, this is kind of where the defenders will start, and I am trying to kind of slow down the defenders on their side a little bit, as well as we'll talk about it a little bit more, but I'm trying to give them a cover area that's a little bit closer to their side than it is on the attacker side, just to try to balance the map out a little bit, if that makes sense. So you guys will kind of notice as I build, there's going to be a lot of inspiration kind of drawn from Call of Duty and as well Counter-Strike. So this map in particular, it's going to have quite a heavy Dust 2 vibe, I guess, if you play any Counter-Strike. But that's kind of where we're coming from. So we're going to have only one bomb site, so it's going to play a little bit more like Call of Duty Search and Destroy. I didn't want to do two bomb sites, especially because, people might just be doing 1v1s, and it kind of makes it a little messy and hard. But yeah, so this would be essentially the defenders team, and this is that door. We had originally worked on. That is where they're going to spawn. So what I'm doing here is I'm kind of just going to slowly work my way over to the wall, the far side wall, and I'm going to start adding buildings and cover and all that kind of good stuff. Sorry if you guys keep hearing some kind of bumping around on the mic. My cat is hovering right over the mic. She's very cute, very quiet, so you probably won't hear her, but she keeps tapping the mic, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, in this first episode, really what we're trying to do here is just kind of get some buildings down. So there is going to be a little bit of strategy to me making the map. I'm going to really kind of play into the angles and that kind of thing. Definitely want to have a lot of movement paths and cover and that kind of stuff. But before we can really think about all that, we need to just kind of get some buildings down and then kind of build off of that. So like I said, we are going to slowly work on kind of heading over towards this wall, that corner that you see right now. And then the bomb site is going to be pretty close, so you're going to be able to actually see the bomb site from inside this room. And I'll go back and kind of make that room a little less open. But right now, like I said, we're going to work our way over to that wall, and over there is going to kind of be like I guess storage yard, but not really. I'm going to put some cargo containers over there just to kind of change the scenery, break it up a little bit. And in between that, there's going to be like a little car mechanic shop, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of just adding some lights in right now. The goal is that you can play this map at nighttime if you want. So there's not going to really be a switch or anything. They're just going to be on. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. And then you'll also see I'm going to add a little bit of minor detailing to the inside of the buildings. And I'm adding these ammo barrels specifically for the play feature of it. I want you guys to be able to kind of go in and shoot the barrels in case somebody is hiding behind cover. And that way you can kind of blow part of that building up, if that makes sense. And, if you're new around here, the ammo barrels are explosive when you fill them with ammo. So if you damage them, they kind of fire off all of their rounds like, setting a big piece of ammo on fire would. But yeah, enough of that. You can see we added the bridge. So this is going to be just kind of a little walkway, I guess, over. And I'm going to stack a couple containers over here. So I'm just going to get rid of some of the logic here to lighten it up. I'm not going to detail this map up too much just because I want to put a pretty big emphasis on good frame rate and whatnot. But other than that, I'm kind of going to just try to keep the building simple, and we're going to use some pretty simple normal Stormworks assets that you would see around, like these cargo containers, maybe some barrels here or there, some boxes, pretty standard multiplayer map stuff. So we're not going to get too fancy with it. I think I definitely want to put an emphasis more on the playability than the visuals, if that makes sense. So this is just kind of an easy way to break the map up a little bit, and you can see I'm going to stack a few of these up, and we're going to kind of just add some cover all over. And then later on, like I said, we'll work on the bomb site and we'll get the Jumbotron in and that kind of thing. But that'll come all a little bit later. The first thing to really do is just kind of get some buildings down. And then from here, I'm going to kind of work on the angles and what you can guard, what you can cover, that kind of thing, because that is pretty important to it. Especially, you know, I mentioned I play Counter-Strike, or I used to play a lot of Counter-Strike. So, you know, that's a very big part of the game, is kind of trying to make the map playable for both sides and not completely unfair. And I'm not going to say I'm going to do a perfect job, guys. I'm not. But this is just a fun little project. The real emphasis here is I just wanted to kind of try something out, try something different. And I wanted to encourage the community to play with some of the handheld weapons, because that's something that doesn't really get done a whole lot in Stormworks. So we got this cool little container bridge heading over here, and I'm going to add a stairwell on the back side of that. And then we're going to cut out a hole there in the bridge container so you can kind of shoot through it and stuff too. But before I do that, I'm just going to kind of get some fencing up. So I did some walls in the last episode, but they're not high enough, and I want to make sure people can't really just jump out of the map, if that makes sense. So that's kind of what we're working on here. And I think pretty much, you know, like I said in this video, we're going to be pretty basic, but the longer the series goes on, the more technical I can kind of get with what we're building and whatnot. Just like I said, you kind of got to just get some stuff in the map first before you can really start kind of worrying about the exact lineups and all that kind of thing. But I'm going to let the time-lapse roll just a little bit. We've been talking for a little bit, so I'm going to get some building done. We'll come back and I'll kind of talk about a little bit of the future of this map and kind of some of the other stuff that I'm going to add. All right, so you can see we got a good chunk of detailing done, and I finally got all of our kind of containers placed, I guess. But right here, I'm going to add a little cutout here so you can kind of guard this site. And you'll notice I also kind of went ahead and made some boxes. So we're going to copy and paste those boxes. That's actually not going to be where they stay. I'm going to move it so you can actually get on top of the container from there. And that way it will kind of add a little bit more movement around. But we're going to hop in the world real quick, test it out, kind of make sure everything feels right, I guess. But yeah, so I know it's kind of going fast. Those don't explode because I didn't fill the ammo. And you can see we kind of bonk our head there. So I need to move that container and I need to add another one so you can climb up onto this upper cargo container area. And I know there's already a couple ways to get up there, but I want it to be pretty much as accessible as possible for the attacking team, if that makes sense. So you can get over there really, really easy if you're on the defending team. But the attacking team, that could kind of become an issue for them. So I wanted to make an easy way for them to get up here. And real quick, I'm just going to make some barrels. And, I think I actually changed this back over to a box. But we definitely are going to need some barrels. So might as well make them now. And I'm just going to kind of copy and paste them all around. You guys will see a lot of those later on. But I also wanted to kind of add some cover if you are trying to get up there too. So you'll notice it's not full, kind of like another full box. I thought that would kind of be a little too much, a little boring. And then what I'm going to do too is I'm going to actually fill some of these with fuel just so they can kind of set fire easier. Just another kind of stupid little detail. But one of the goals I have is I want the map to be semi-destructible. So you can see that bridge that we kind of added from this room or this building over onto the cargo container. So that bridge later on will be able to break in half. I'm going to kind of connect it with a hard point, make it two separate bodies. So I'm going to try to put a lot of that kind of stuff in the game too. Just, I think it's a fun little feature. It doesn't really need to be there, but it's kind of fun to, kind of just wreck the map a little bit. I don't think anybody will complain about that. And then right over here, we just kind of added some sandbags. And I kind of wanted to just have some cover over here if you are coming out of the blue container, so it's not just like a mad dash to get off of that area. But other than that, I'm going to add some lighting. You guys will see I'm going to kind of copy and paste some of these light poles. But, we were going to talk about a little bit more where the rest of the map is going to go. So directly across from the blue container, I'm going to kind of put a really, really big building. And then to the right of that, I'm going to put a taller tower kind of, if that makes sense. And I'm going to make the tower 3 different floors, but it's going to have a mounted machine gun on the roof, which I think some of you might say is a little unfair. Where I kind of tried to even this out is it's going to be pretty difficult to get up there. So you're going to have to take 2 different ladders. So it's not going to be the fastest kind of process, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's kind of where we're going. On the attacking side, the T side, we're going to have a lot more kind of buildings, if that makes sense, that you can kind of run through. And then once you get over here more towards where the site is, it's going to be a lot more open. So a lot more areas for kind of the defenders to defend. But, I wanted the T side, first of all, to kind of get over to the bomb site a lot slower. So the bomb site's going to be closer to the A team, the defending team. Right about where that gray container is right now, actually. So I'm going to get rid of that gray container later on. And then I'll close this window up too. But that's kind of the plan, So I'm going to add, some vehicles, some different stores, some little fruit stalls, that kind of thing. Again, pretty standard multiplayer stuff that you would find in a normal multiplayer map. We're not going to go crazy, like I said. The buildings are going to be pretty simple. I'm just going to kind of blank walls, maybe, a bench or a table here or there. Nothing crazy. But yeah, that's kind of, like I said in this episode, the main goal really is to kind of just start getting stuff down. And, after that, we can kind of worry about how it plays a little bit more. So you guys will see in the coming episodes when we work on the far side of the map, I'm going to check angles a lot more. So I'm kind of going to hop in the world and spawn in, and I'm going to look at where you can be seen from where. And I'm going to be a lot more thoughtful about the cover that the attacking team gets than the defending team gets, if that makes sense. There's a lot of kind of nooks and crannies over here that the defenders can hide around and whatnot, but I want to make sure that you can't just get picked off from your spawn. And you guys will kind of see what I'm talking about later on. So the way I kind of slow down the attacking team is they have almost like a long hallway that they have to walk up before they can kind of turn and get into the map. And I mean, there's some gaps and stuff they can shoot through. But yeah, that was kind of the mindset with that, is I wanted to do a longer kind of ramp style. I don't know, again, going back to the whole Counter-Strike thing, if you've ever seen ramp in a site on Dust 2. That's kind of what it's going to be like. So they're going to have to go up the ramp, and then they can kind of turn and start working towards site. But obviously, it's not going to be that close to the site. So it's kind of hard to explain without seeing it. So obviously, you guys will see it in some coming episodes. But right now, I'm kind of just adding some slight detailing around the buildings and stuff. I'm trying to make them a little bit taller, make them look a little bit nicer. Another thing that I'm also trying to be a little mindful of is the catwalk that we made in the last episode. I want that to be a pretty unobstructed viewing platform for people to watch. So I'm trying not to put a lot of really, really big buildings in that way. But that's just another kind of thing that I've been trying to consider while building this map. So one of the last things that we really got to work on this map, well, at least in this episode, is going to be kind of like the Jumbotron. So I know it's kind of weird to say that, but there's no way to display like a heads-up display or an overlay for players during this game. So I want them to all have access to kind of the bomb timer and stuff. So we're going to make a Jumbotron just like you would see in like a hockey arena. And my good buddy Jack, he's going to do the timer on that, custom font and everything, so it'll fit nice and big on a 9x5 screen. I'll have a link to his Steam page and workshop and stuff once I get this released. But yeah, thank you, Jack. Thank you for doing that. I would absolutely hate if I had to spend a couple hours doing that. So I appreciate it. But yeah, that's kind of the plan. So we're going to have a Jumbotron up there. It's going to have a timer. As soon as the bomb timer starts, that will start ticking down from 45 seconds. And then, we're going to put some like sound blocks and horns and that kind of thing in there too. So it's just kind of a little annoying. If you haven't coded too much in Stormworks, there's no way to really scale the font without drawing them individually. So what he had to do was make his own font for all of the numbers 1 through 0. And then, funny enough, it has to be split into 2 separate Lewis screens because it was it maxed out the characters. So there's actually 2 separate timers that operate it. There's one that counts every 10 seconds and changes the tens place, and then one that counts every 1 second and changes the one place. It's kind of weird how it all had to happen, but we got it done. I think it's a really, really important, crucial part of this map. It allows all of the players to kind of be a little bit more aware of what's going on. And just kind of like the viewing platform, this is something that I want to be pretty unobstructed for most places. So I want most of the players to kind of be able to look up and have a general sense for what is going on in the map. But other than that, that's really all we're going to get done today, guys. Like I said, this episode was really more kind of just about getting some buildings done and getting the map a little bit filled out. And then we can worry more about what, the kind of lineups and the angles and cover and that kind of stuff in the coming episodes. So definitely stick around for that. Stay tuned for that. We got a couple more episodes of this, of course, but I'll definitely make a video kind of when it's released. And I plan on doing some gameplay videos with this with people from Discord again. So if you haven't checked out Discord, check out Discord. But yeah, guys, that's all the building we're really going to do in this one. So if you did make it to the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I think this project's obviously a little unconventional for what I'm used to. Like I said, I got some big projects coming up in the future. I think you guys will be really excited for it. I'm going to be attempting to do a floating oil rig that is mobile and also automated. So that's a big project. A lot of research kind of that I've been doing into that. I haven't really done the oil drilling stuff too much in this game. But enough rambling. You guys will come see that eventually. Like I said, this is kind of all we're doing. So this is the end of the episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.